It starts quietly or sometimes all at once. A racing heart in the middle of the night. A sudden sense that something is wrong, even when everything seems fine. You wake up feeling like the world is pressing against your chest. Your thoughts spiral, your breath shortens, and you wonder, am I losing my mind? But what if you're not losing your mind at all? What if this chaos inside you isn't a breakdown, but a breakthrough? What if your anxiety is not a curse, but a calling? A sacred alarm clock ringing through your nervous system, trying to wake you from the dream of a life that no longer fits your soul. We don't talk about this enough. We treat anxiety solely as a malfunction, something to be medicated, managed, or silenced. But what if anxiety is not just a medical condition? What if it's a message? Your soul knows when you're living out of alignment. It knows when you're betraying your truth, when you're stuck in a job, a relationship, a belief system that no longer serves your evolution. And because the soul cannot scream in words, it speaks in sensation. It tightens your chest. It floods your body with energy. It disrupts your sleep, your appetite, your sense of control because it's trying to get your attention. Have you ever considered that your anxiety might be the voice of your intuition that's been ignored for too long? What if the unease you feel is not a problem to be fixed, but a compass pointing toward transformation? Many people experience anxiety right before a spiritual awakening. It shows up when the old self starts to dissolve, but the new self hasn't fully emerged. It's the in-between, the liminal space, the sacred threshold between who you were and who you're becoming. And it feels terrifying because the ego is terrified of death, but the soul is not afraid. The soul knows that breakdown is often the first stage of breakthrough. Think about it. When a caterpillar enters the chrysalis, it completely dissolves. It doesn't sprout wings while staying intact. It becomes unrecognizable. And in that darkness, in that formless goo, a new blueprint takes shape. That's what's happening inside you. Your anxiety is the dissolving, the disorientation, the sacred confusion that precedes rebirth. And yet, we resist it. We label it. We panic about the panic. But what if, instead of fighting it, you began to ask it questions? What truth am I avoiding? What part of me is dying? What new part is trying to emerge? So many spiritual awakenings begin with a panic attack. Why? Because panic is the ego's reaction to the unknown. It's the inner alarm that says, I don't know what's happening, but I know I'm not in control anymore. And that's exactly the point. Awakening shatters the illusion of control. It cracks open the mental framework you built to feel safe. It pulls you into the mystery, into the unknown, into the infinite. And the ego hates that. The ego wants predictability. It wants guarantees. But the soul thrives in the unknown. It lives in the space where nothing is certain, but everything is possible. We live in a world that teaches us to numb discomfort, to run from pain, to fear uncertainty. But every great spiritual tradition, every mystic, every awakened being has said the same thing. The path to liberation begins with surrender. Anxiety forces us to surrender. It brings us to our knees. It disrupts our false sense of safety. And in that disruption, something deeper can emerge. But only if we stop trying to fix it and instead begin to feel it, to breathe with it, to sit with it like a sacred messenger, not a monster. Let's go deeper. What if your anxiety is not just about fear, but about energy? You are not just a body. You are an electromagnetic field, a frequency, a vibration. And when your energy is expanding faster than your identity can handle, you will feel overwhelmed. You will feel anxious. It's like trying to pour an ocean into a teacup. The teacup shatters. That's what's happening inside you. Your old self is too small for your emerging soul. Your nervous system is catching up to your consciousness. So the question is not, how do I get rid of the anxiety? The question is, how do I expand my container to hold this new energy?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
This is why anxiety often increases after spiritual practices like meditation, journaling, breath work, or plant medicine. We think those tools will calm us, and sometimes they do. But sometimes they open a doorway. They activate something. They unlock a part of us we've kept hidden. And what rises is not just peace, but everything that was buried beneath the surface. Unprocessed grief, repressed anger, forgotten memories, unlived truths. Your anxiety may not be about something going wrong. It may be about something finally coming up to be healed. Have you noticed how anxiety doesn't always make logical sense? That's because it's not a logical experience. It's energetic, it's emotional, it's spiritual. And the mind tries to make sense of it, but often it can't. So it loops, it obsesses, it catastrophizes. But the mind is not the problem. It's just trying to protect you. It's trying to create order in the middle of a spiritual storm. So instead of fighting the mind, can you thank it? Can you say, I see you trying to keep me safe, but I'm ready to grow now? One of the most powerful things you can do when anxiety arises is to stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start asking, what's trying to awaken in me? That shift changes everything. It moves you from victim to seeker, from fear to curiosity, from contraction to expansion. Anxiety is not the enemy. Resistance is. The more you resist what your soul is trying to show you, the more intense the anxiety becomes. But when you stop resisting, when you soften, when you breathe, when you listen, that's when the gold is revealed. Let's talk about the body. Because your body holds wisdom that your mind has forgotten. Anxiety is not just in your head. It's in your chest, your gut, your shoulders, your breath. It's stored in your fascia, your cells, your energy field. When you experience anxiety, your body is speaking. It's saying, there is something here that needs your love, not your judgment, not your diagnosis, your love. So instead of trying to escape the sensation, move into it. Ask it, what are you here to show me? Then listen, not with your ears, with your entire being. For some, anxiety is the soul's response to a life of disconnection. Disconnection from nature, disconnection from truth, disconnection from purpose. We live in a society that has normalized numbness. That rewards performance over presence. That teaches us to seek validation instead of inner knowing. And your soul can only tolerate that for so long before it rebels. That rebellion is anxiety. It's the soul saying, I can no longer live like this. So if your life is filled with anxiety, maybe it's not because you're broken. Maybe it's because you're waking up. And waking up is not always peaceful. Sometimes it's violent. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it feels like everything is falling apart, but it's actually falling into place. Have you ever felt like you're on the edge of something, but you don't know what? That strange mix of fear and excitement in your chest? That's the threshold. That's the place between the old and the new. And anxiety often lives right there, in the doorway, in the not yet. We try to rush through it, to get to the other side, but the threshold is sacred. It's where transformation happens. Can you stay there a little longer? Can you trust that something holy is being born, even if you don't yet understand what it is? You may feel like you're the only one going through this, but you're not. Millions of people around the world are feeling this exact same thing. And many of them are mistaking their awakening for a breakdown. They're medicating their mysticism. They're sedating their sensitivity. They're trying to get back to normal, not realizing that normal was the problem. But you're here, listening, open, curious. That means you're ready. ready to see your anxiety not as a flaw, but as a frequency shift, not as a failure, but as a spiritual initiation. And so I ask you now, with all the sincerity of your soul, what if your anxiety is not here to harm you but to lead you home? What if everything you've labeled as wrong is actually your body's way of guiding you toward your truth? What if your panic is sacred? What if your trembling is holy? What if the part of you that feels overwhelmed is the part that is closest to God? This is not about romanticizing anxiety. It is real. It is painful. It can be debilitating. But it is also meaningful. It is also intelligent. And when you approach it not with fear but with reverence, it becomes something else. It becomes a teacher, a guide, a portal. Your anxiety might be a spiritual awakening in disguise. You are still here, which means a part of you knows deep down that your anxiety is not just a problem to be solved, but a signal to be followed. What if everything you've been running from is the very path to your liberation? The pressure in your chest, the racing thoughts, the sleepless nights, what if they're not signs that you're broken, but signs that your soul is trying to rise through the cracks of everything false? Anxiety often means truth is near. But truth, when it first arrives, feels like chaos. Why? Because it threatens everything that was built on lies, every identity, every belief, every illusion you've clung to for safety. When you begin to awaken, your nervous system often becomes more sensitive. And this is not a flaw. It is a feature of your evolution. You start to feel more energy, more emotion, more subtle shifts in the world around you. You walk into rooms and sense the tension. You hear words, but feel the truth behind them. You can no longer tolerate fake conversations, meaningless routines, or environments that drain your spirit. That sensitivity is not weakness. It's your spiritual intelligence increasing. But because you were never taught how to handle this kind of inner expansion, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like anxiety. But maybe it's not about learning how to numb it. Maybe it's about learning how to use it. We were raised in systems that taught us not to trust our inner world. We were taught to obey, to conform, to fit in, even if it meant betraying our own intuition. So when that intuition begins to awaken, it often comes with anxiety, because the soul is saying, no more pretending, no more shrinking, no more self-betrayal. And the ego resists this. It panics, it spirals, it clings to the familiar, even if the familiar is killing us. But what if anxiety is just the ego's alarm in the face of your soul's expansion? Have you ever noticed how, when you finally start listening to your inner voice, things around you begin to fall apart? Relationships unravel. Jobs feel unbearable. Old dreams dissolve. And it feels like you're losing everything. But what if you're not losing yourself? What if you're shedding everything that isn't you? Anxiety often arises during this shedding. It is the tension between holding on and letting go, between the old and the new, between fear and faith. And you must choose. Again and again, you must choose truth over comfort, soul over safety. There's a reason many people experience a spiritual awakening after major life upheavals, loss, heartbreak, illness, collapse. These moments break our identities. They strip away who we thought we were. They expose the fragility of the structures we built our lives upon. And in that rawness, spirit can finally speak. But the voice of spirit doesn't always sound like a soft whisper. Sometimes it sounds like a scream, a panic, a surge of emotion so intense it forces you to stop, sit, breathe, and listen. That's not a breakdown. That's a breakthrough in disguise. Let's talk about the difference between fear and intuition, because anxiety often blurs the line between them. Fear is loud, chaotic, urgent. Intuition is quiet, grounded, clear. But when your inner world has been ignored or suppressed for years, even your intuition can feel unfamiliar. You might mistake your soul's calling for danger. You might feel panic at the thought of quitting your job, ending a relationship, or stepping into your purpose, not because it's wrong, but because it's unknown. And the unknown triggers the survival instinct. But survival is not the same as truth. Not everything that feels safe is aligned, and not everything that feels scary is wrong. You must learn to sit with discomfort long enough to hear what it's actually saying. Anxiety is not always telling you to run. Sometimes it's telling you to pause, to listen, to feel, to realign. The discomfort is not punishment, it's purification. It's burning away what no longer fits who you're becoming. But most people run from that fire. They sedate it, suppress it, avoid it. And in doing so, they miss the deeper message. That's why your anxiety keeps returning. Not because you're failing, but because your soul refuses to let you settle for half a life. So how do you begin to work with your anxiety as a spiritual experience instead of a problem? First, you must change your relationship to it. Stop asking, how do I get rid of this? And start asking, what is this here to show me? Treat your anxiety with reverence, with compassion, with curiosity. Create space in your life to feel it. Not just fix it. Journal with it, move with it, meditate with it, speak to it, ask it what it needs, ask it what it's protecting, ask it what it's trying to awaken in you. The more you bring awareness to your anxiety, the less power it has over you. Second, you must begin to ground your body, because spiritual awakening often floods you with energy that needs a container. Your body is that container. But most of us live in our heads. We overthink, we dissociate, we try to escape the body because it feels unsafe. But healing happens through embodiment, through breath, through movement, through stillness, through presence. Get barefoot on the earth, breathe into your belly, eat grounding foods, touch the parts of you that feel disconnected. Bring yourself back into your center. Third, surround yourself with people who honor your depth. Awakening can be lonely. When you start to see through the illusions of the world, you often feel like an outsider. But you are not crazy, you are just awake in a world that's still sleeping. Find others who are also waking up. Share your truth. Let yourself be seen in your vulnerability. Connection is medicine. You don't need people who have all the answers. You need people who can sit with the questions without trying to fix them. Fourth, be mindful of what you consume. Your nervous system is sensitive, especially during awakening. Be careful with media, conversations, environments that feed fear. Choose nourishment over noise. Choose beauty over distraction. Choose silence over chaos. Your soul is recalibrating. Give it the space it needs to remember itself. And lastly, trust the unfolding. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know where this path is leading. You just need to keep showing up, keep breathing, keep choosing truth over fear. One moment at a time, one breath at a time. The anxiety may still come, but now you'll meet it differently. Not as an enemy, but as a teacher. You see, spiritual awakening doesn't always look like bliss or peace or joy. Sometimes it looks like anxiety, like darkness, like falling apart. But within that falling apart is the sacred unraveling, the undoing of everything false, the remembering of everything real. And that is the most powerful thing that can happen to a human being. So I ask you again with even more depth, what if your anxiety is not a sign that something is wrong, but a signal that something sacred is trying to be born through you? What if your panic is not the end, but the beginning? What if the shaking, the sweating, the spiraling is the sound of your old self crumbling so your true self can finally rise? You are not alone in this. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are becoming. You are awakening. And yes, it's messy. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's terrifying. But it's also beautiful, necessary, sacred. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real, to live fully, to love deeply, to awaken completely. So let your anxiety guide you. Let it humble you. Let it strip you down until only truth remains. And then, from that truth, build your life again. Not on fear, not on performance, but on soul, on presence, on purpose. Your anxiety might be a spiritual awakening. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't the end of your story. Maybe it's the beginning of your return home,